Right, let's look at the question that based on parabola. So we'll try to answer all the questions that is being posed here. Now simply let's say given f of x equals to x squared minus x squared plus 2x plus 3. So write the equation in the form of y equals to a into x minus p squared plus q. So there is no method to write this, but normally the method that says completing the square. Completing of the square. But there are other ways that you can write this. Alright, now you can check here that the value of a in this case is going to be minus 1. So meaning that, okay, we can write 1.1. The first part we can have see that y equals to minus 1 into x minus p all squared plus q. But remembering, this p is the x coordinate of the turning point. So rather you can say p equals to x equals to minus b over 2a. And if that is the case, then we know that, okay, in this part, so that a is negative 1, b is positive 2, then c equals to positive 3 in that case. So we can substitute here the minus into the value of b, which is 2 over 2 into minus 1, which is the value of a. And now what we have, it means we'll have negative divided by negative is positive, then we'll have the answer of 1. So we can have the value of p is 1. So how to get the value of q? So can you say q equals to the f of whatever value that is here of the x turning point, which is 1, equals to minus 1 or minus x, or let's say, okay, minus x, which is 1 squared, plus 2 into value of x is 1 plus 3. Now what do we have here? It means we'll have, okay, minus 1 plus 2 plus 3. So this is 5 minus 1, this is 4. So we can have our turning point here as the value 4. Alright, this is what we have. Now it means our equation in the form of that is y equals to minus 1 into x minus, what is the value there is 1 all squared plus 4. That will be this equation in that form. So if you want to use the completing the square, you're welcome to use the completing of the square to write this equation in this form. So now we know that the turning point is this one, minus is the turning point is 1 and 4. Now number 2, they say determine the equation of the axis of the symmetry 1.2. Now we simply know that the axis of symmetry is also this part here. That's why they just determine the equation of the axis of symmetry. So simply x equals to 1, or you can write the formula and substitute them. 1.3. Determine the coordinates of the turning point. So now by looking at this, we can see that, okay, the turning point is having the coordinates 1 and 4. 1.4. Sketch the graph. So I will just do the rough sketch of sketching the graph here. Normally they say show all the coordinates or the intercept. Right. Now let's see if we can plot that. Alright, now what do we have here? We'll have the turning point. We'll have, now we need the y-intercept and the x-intercept, so they are not here. So let's get them quickly. So using this graph or this equation, let's try to get them. So what we'll do here, we'll say okay, now for x or for y-intercept, we know that x equals to 0. So now it means we'll say y equals to minus 1 into 0 minus 1 all squared plus 4. So y equals to, now what do we have here? We'll have positive 1 multiplied by negative 1, then it means our y-intercept here will have it as 3. Alright, we should have used this equation here because this is always the y-intercept. Right, let's get the x-intercept. Now on the x-intercept, we know that y must be 0. So in that case, it means if y is 0, then we'll have 0 equals to which equation to use? We can use this one, or we can use, but let's use the first one, minus, but the simplest one will be this one here. So minus 1 into x minus 1 into x minus 1 all squared plus 4. Then in that case, it means we'll have to take 4 on the other side, and then we'll have minus 4 equals to minus 1 into x minus 1 all squared. Now dividing by negative 1 both sides, then we'll have 4 equals to x minus 1 all squared. Now what do we have here? It means now we'll have plus minus the square root of 4. If we take out the squared, equals to x minus 1. So what do we have here? Plus minus 2. Square root of 4 is 2. Then equals to x minus 1. So now we separate these two. X minus 1 equals to 2, or x minus 1 equals to minus 2. Now this side, it means x equals to, now when you take it the other side, when we subtract, when we add 1 both sides, then we'll have 3 this side. Then x equals to, now when it comes to the other side, then we have minus 1. Right, now we have the x-intercepts. We'll have minus 1, and then this side will have 3. Now from there, we'll have the y-intercept. Let's put it here to be 3. Now after that, we have the turning point. Our turning point is 1 and 4. So let's put it here, 1 and 4. And then now this will be the turning point. Now from this turning point, our graph is saving a negative value of a. Then now it means it will concave down like this. Right, then from here to the y-intercept, from the y-intercept to this value here, and then it will come like this. So now, sorry for that, so now our turning point 1 and 4. Now this will be there, yes, minus 1. This will be our graph. Now we can erase these other things because now we have our graph. Let's erase to answer 1.5. Right, looking at the 1.5, they said determine the maximum graph. Determine the maximum graph or the minimum. Determine whether the graph has a maximum or minimum value and give the value if it's the minimum. Alright, now 1.5. Now our graph will have, of course, that will be maximum. Maximum, and what is the value of the maximum is the y value at turning point here. It will be that will be 4. Right, 1.6. Determine or find the domain and range. Alright, for domain we agreed that domain will be x is an element of real numbers. So if you don't get it, go and look at the video for parabola 1 and parabola 2. 1.7. Determine, before 1.7 there is the range. Now on the range, of course, we'll say the y. Now because this graph is concave down or set, then we'll say less or equals to what is the y value at any point, then that will be 4. So it will be less or equals to the maximum value. 1.7. Determine x if f of x equals to 0. Now for a, when I say f of x equals to 0, the f of x equals to 0 here. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. So meaning that banyak na the value ja x mo the f of x, the y value of this function equals to 0. So where is that point? So the point is on the x-axis. So meaning that the values will be x equals to minus 1 or x equals to 3 in that case. Number B, they are saying the values, give us the values of x where y, when they're saying greater than 0, they're saying positive. So where is the graph, where is the values of y positive on the graph? So now, if we check our graph, our values of y here, they are positive, 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 positive. But so it means the positive is above the x-axis. Then now, but looking at the value of y here, they're becoming under x-axis. They're becoming negative, 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 up to infinity. Negative, 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 up to infinity. So meaning below, that's not what we want. We want the one that is above the x-axis. So looking at that, now if I'm at this point of 0, because that is neutral, then it means if I want the values of y or the values of x, where y is positive, because the y is positive if I'm approaching 0 this case. Because if I'm here, if the after minus 1, if we get to minus 2, going up to where is positive, where is positive, I'm not pointing I'm not going to touch the graph. But if I move towards the 0 axis, then I'm going to point the y where is positive on the graph. So it means at this point I'll be moving that way. So if I'm at this point again, then if I'm moving in that direction, so meaning that if I go up, I don't touch my graph of y. So meaning that's not the correct way. So meaning I must take this way going back so that I can touch the y value for the graph. So if I don't touch it, it means it's not positive after this value. So it means these arrows, that's what give me the answers. As well as I move up to the y, positive y, because they said y must be positive, Then as soon as I move to the positive direction, and then I move in the left direction, touching the graph, then it means that is my arrow here. If I'm at -1, then I must move to the right so that I can still touch my graph at the positive y value. So these arrows are my answer. So I'll say, okay, x, in this case, the first arrows pointing that way will be greater than -1, or x, in this case, will be pointing back less than the value of x here is 3. So some other can combine it because there is no space between the two values. So we can simply say x is between -1. We always start by the smallest value, and then we end with the bigger value between the two critical values. Alright, then the next one I say f of x then must be what? The f of x must be negative here. It must be negative. So if it's negative, so meaning that y must be negative. Y is negative where? Underneath here. So now we always will start at the x-axis to have what? To have the critical values. Then now from this critical values, in which direction? We're also going to move in which direction. So if get direction to the left when I'm here, when I must approach where the y is negative. So y is negative underneath. But if I'm approaching that from this point. If I go down here, I won't touch the graph. So, but if I come outside here, I will touch the graph here. Going further to the right, I'll touch the graph here. Going further to the right, I'll touch the graph here. Can you see that if I'm moving in that direction, I'm going to touch the graph because the graph is also moving in also that direction. So it means if I'm at this point, I must point this direction. So I must move in that direction so that the graph where the y is what? Negative. So if I'm at -1, so in which direction? So if I move to the left direction from -1, so if I am here picking any point of x, I must go where they are saying the y must be negative, and where is y is negative there. Then I touch my graph. Then it means I'm relevant. Then I put another point of x. Then I must move to where y is negative is down. So I touch the graph. So it means this is the correct direction. So meaning that in this, when I'm at -1, I must move in that direction. So now it means C. What are the solution? So when I'm at x is -1, then it means I must move in that direction. So to get the y being negative. Or now x, if I'm at 3, where should I move from there? Because why I'm picking the critical? Because at this point, the y is 0, is neutral. It doesn't have the negative or positive. That's why from here, once I move the steps away from here, then the Lombonjaro is positive or negative. Now, but in this case, it means I must say greater than 3, so that I'll pick up the y values that are negative for these values of x that I'm going to pick at this level. So this one, because the other one is here and there is a space between, here there is a space, so meaning that I must have or, so the answer will only be this one. Right, number 1.8, give the new equation if f of x is translated 2 units downwards. 2 units downwards, 1.8. Now, if it's 2 units downwards. So downwards is only affecting what? The y values, which is might be the intercept, the y intercept, or and also the turning point. So if it's moving 2 units downwards, so for which equation that we must write? Of course, we had to f of x equals to minus what? Minus x squared, and then we had plus 2x plus 3 plus 2x plus 3. So it means now we are saying f of x is now moving 2 units downwards. So if it's downwards, it will be minus. So it's supposed to be minus 2 to show downwards of the f of x. So now it means I'll say, okay, so what is f of x? In this case, f of x is minus x squared plus 2x plus 3. Then what we have, they say minus 2 minus 2. So now the f of x minus 2 will have minus x squared plus 2x. Now what we have here is plus 1. Now it shows that this graph has been shifted downwards by 2 units. So of course, if the function was given in the form of f of x equals to minus into x minus 1 all squared plus 4, then now the f of x equals to minus into x. Now we need to shift this down by 2 units. So we must also erase this one. So now what we have here, so it means we'll have f of x plus 2 equals to now minus into x minus 1 all squared plus 4 minus 2. Sorry for that, supposed to be minus 2. So now it means it will be minus into x minus 1 all squared plus 2 in that case. So now this is the division of the other part, and this is another division here when in standard form. Right, that will be the end of question C. So we can repeat the video to understand better. Just keep on repeating up until you get the point.